I will have 3 different inserts that go into the hive. Cool. That's another nice thing about this hive. When you walk out there, it's just going to be about waist high, like your workbench. If you're working on this end of the hive, you've got this down here as a workbench. You can set your tools or whatever upon there. Queen excluder. This is the front of the hive. The bees will be using front like this. If you're going to give them as your brood section, you put the queen excluder in there like so. That locks the queen into her position on the front. I leave it stick up to where you can tell where it's at. These will fit. And behind here you put your bars that you're going to want nothing but honey. You use this to keep the queen from laying brood and eggs in your honey frames. There's that. The next one I use, this is my dry feeder. Piano hinge on the bottom. You use dry sugar feed in the winter. Moisture is a problem with the honeybees in cold weather. That's one of the killers. Cold bees are okay. Wet bees are dead bees. The way I do this is I'll put a single sheet of newspaper on the screen. I mix my sugar, about a half a cup of water for 5 pounds of sugar. Mix it up, it's going to be about like wet sand. You pack that in both sides, squeegee it off like you're pouring concrete, and you let that set for 3 or 4 days in the house or in the garage, and that'll get hard like a sugar cube. Sides completely full. It'll hold about 9 pounds of sugar. Close this up, wire it on top. This is your backer board. It keeps the bees in the space. You drop that in. Now, you've done 2 things here. You've fed the bees. That way they have this to eat on to get through the winter if they're short on food. You've also put in a sponge. That sugar cube will soak up any excess moisture that's generated in the hive. Bees are like any other animal. They have bee breath. If you go into the winter with, let's say, 6 pounds of bees in here, it's not much different than putting, wherever she's at, my wiener dog in there. You're going to have breath. When you have breath and cold, you get condensation. The sugar cube back here is going to soak it up. A lot of people use what's called a candy board. They cook the sugar to the point where when it cools, it's hard like a jawbreaker. If I put that in there, that's just going to sit there and sweat. This will soak it up. It's much better. My third item is my syrup feeder. This is what I use for warm weather, spring, if I set a new package of bees in. It is waterproof. Metal. Again, here's your backer board. The bees cannot go past this. Fill this, I usually fill this, put a bunch of sticks, pine cones, different things in, shove them in there. That gives them life rafts. You don't want to create a drowning pool for the bees. Put your sticks and stuff in there. Set it in there. You do not have to open the hive up to feed them. I can pour my syrup right through these screen on top. I find it easier to feed them at night. I can see in here better. So I'll take a small flashlight and I'll set it on this hole, which illuminates the inside of the chamber. Then I can take and pour my syrup in this side, pour it real slow. That gives them time to stay above the rising tide. So your light in here, you can stand here, look down in there, and see exactly what you're doing. Bars will sit like that. So looking, this is what the bees see on the inside. They can come and go this way. In the spring, you're going to want to feed a 50-50 mixture. They're going to eat that and make comb, except they're not going to really store it for stores. If you are going to try to feed them late in the year where they don't have much honey built and you're worried about them, you're going to want to go up to about a 1-to-1, maybe a little more. In water by weight, not by volume, by weight. So 5 pounds of sugar to 5 pounds of water. That's it. These do not come with the hive. They are an add-on. I can't include them with the shipping. I can ship them with the kit. And these come assembled. You do not have to assemble the feeders or the queen excluder. You're going to get your Superior Bee Supply sticker. Peel it off. I always put it down here, kind of in the lower back like so. Just like that. That way you can show your friends when they ask you where you got this great hive at, you can show them. I call this my classic Dutch barn. The one you've seen in my yard. Is my classic copper penny. I use the copper penny in the yard. It's just classy looking. I mean, it's awesome. I use these in my bee yard where this is what I use. The paint's a little more durable than the stain. It's a little less maintenance. It still looks good. Does a good job. Exactly the same material except paint and silver roof instead of stain, oil, and the copper penny roof. With this kit, you will get 30 top bars, which is enough to fill the entire hive up. The feeder is an add-on. It does not come with the kit. Prices are on the webpage. The sugar dry feeder is an add-on also, as is the queen excluder. They're all add-ons. Prices are on the webpage. If you're looking for a cheap hive, this is not it. This is a top-end hive. It's all furniture grade hardwood, 30-year metal roof. This hive will last you 30 years, last you a long time with a little bit of maintenance. I say it's top end. If you want something that looks great in your garden or your yard, this is it. It's not some flimsy kit. No plywood, no OSB. This is made to last you a long time. So enjoy, and look forward to selling you one.